Hey guys, welcome to my first ever video. It's been asked for by a couple guys and suggested that they'd like to see a install done. Today we're using one of these swing away tub boxes. Pick them up on eBay. Bodyline tub locking automotive restyling. So I'm going to make this as quick and painless as possible. I've never done a video. I'm not a content creator, but I'm going to give it a go because it's been suggested for a few different things. And this is going to be my start, and I'm generally nervous on camera. So let's have some fun. Now, I can't work out how to turn my camera around, so that's going to make it even better. So what I've done is I've gone and lined up most of the tools we're going to need. So you're going to need a drill. It comes with tech screws. We're going to use rib nuts. So I've got so the bolts are 8mm on the bracket. So I've gone and got a step drill because you need an 11mm drill bit to do M8 bolts. I just think it's going to be neat and tidier, and if you've ever got to replace it, change it, it's a lot nicer than tech screws. Got some sockets. I've got an 11mm bit just in case the step drill bit ain't gonna do it. I've got some gummy bears for a snack, can of V to keep me going, and a hoodie because it is 9 degrees. Alright, let's get started. So before we can do anything, this is where the hammer is going to come into play. We have a tie down point. So to remove that, you just need a quick 10mm socket. Because of the spray on tub liner, they're a little bit tight to put on. So kind of get it lined up, and then we're just going to quickly use the drill as a bit of rattle gun. I'm going to have a crack at editing this video so he's not sitting through a fucking hour. So he's not sitting through an hour. And we're going to try and keep my language to a minimum, because I know when we upload things to YouTube, apparently they don't like it. You might need to use a knife or a wire brush or something to help get that spray on tub lining off, because it is a 10mm, I was right. But I'm trying to make this as quick as possible. So I just grabbed the first ratchet I could find, which happens to be a torque wrench. Give us plenty of leverage. Make sure we put it on lefty loosey. And then with that bolt all of a sudden becomes quite easily finger tight. So we quickly pull that one off, put it to the side. On the bottom one, I just went a bit harder with the hammer. Pretty much 2 flicks with the torque wrench, and you can just put the socket on the bolt and undo it by hand. Now, if anyone's wondering, these factory bolts are M8 threads. And on that note, if you are running a tonneau cover or no cover and want some more tie down points, there are factory holes with M8 threads. So I've just grabbed some eye bolts from Bunnings and mounted them down. I didn't like the brackets, so I've used the eye bolts to hold down the tonneau cover. I just think it's a much better use of time and space and everything else. So we pull that off. Unfortunately, look, the tub line spray on, so when you push it off, it's going to come off. Now, we quickly grab our bracket. Now, I just want to mention, when this came, the striker was already attached. The only thing I had to put on was this bracket here, and we'll run through the instructions shortly. So, flick it over, line it up. I've just pushed this as hard as I can down and kind of let it sit naturally. There and there. So it does seem to sit a little bit off, because you can see the bottom kicks out a bit. Now, I forgot to quickly grab a marker so we can mark our holes. So I'm going to get my exercise today and run upstairs quickly. Now, while we're going upstairs, I live in an apartment. I don't have a garage that I can fit my car in. I don't have a workshop. I have access to a few sheds, but you can't just commandeer your mate's sheds all the time. Only 99% if you've got good mates. So most of the stuff I'm doing, I have simple house tools, a couple of, more specialised tools that everyone might not have in the shed. But end of financial year and Black Friday sales are a great time to buy these tools. We will run through one of them a little bit more when we get to it, which is the new rib nut gun I've brought. Total tools, $40. Comes with rib nuts. Can't complain for someone who's just doing the old backyard DIYs. Now, if you have a black ute, well, all these are going to have a black tub liner. I highly suggest buying a white paint texture for marking these kinds of things. Now we're just going to stick the white paint marker through our holes. So we know where to put the drill. And I'm more than welcome feedback on these videos, because if I'm going to stick with it, show me tell me if I do something wrong, tell me. If you want to see something extra, ask. So, I'm in no way sponsored. I've got a frost step drill bit and a full ball drill bit. Everything I've bought, with the exception of the rib nut gun and the tub liner itself, have all just come from Bunnings off the shelf. Nothing's been ordered. So let's have a crack. These drill bits are a little bit of a pain to get out. Flathead or a knife helps just clip the case for the drill bit. An 11mm is a really pain size too with your step drill bits, guys. Most of them don't have 11, they go straight to 12 from 10. Something you should be aware of if you're going to use a step drill bit. I just also want to point out, I've never been politically correct in my life, and regardless of whether or not these videos are public, probably not going to start. I can control what I say, I cannot control how anyone takes it, so if you take offence, it is not aimed at anyone in particular. If you do, this is still Australia, and the country's built on blokes that weren't politically correct. You can make a comment, none of us care, no one takes it to heart. I've just slipped twice on camera, and I'm still going to post this. Now on what light is they're going to be M6 bolts. So we are just going to come over. I thought they were M8s. I mean, realistically, I could probably drill it out, and I might, depending on how long the M6 bolts I brought, because I'm currently doing another project. So if you notice, there's holes and bolts and a big hole. This will be my custom dual battery setup in the back of this. So I will probably put a video on that. I've done most of the work, I've just got to finish it up. So it won't be a full step-by-step, but I'll run through it if anyone's interested. Just because putting batteries in the back without a canopy is a little bit challenging. So let's have a squeeze at how much I'm going to have to drill out, because I think we're just going to make these M8s, because I've already got everything down here, and I've got multiple M8 drill bits, M8 screws. Right, now, there is one tool I've worked out that I brought 8-9 months ago. I've told myself I need to buy one probably about 4 or 5 times in the last 3 weeks. And then remembered I had one, which is a G-clamp, or any kind of clamp will work. So we're going to grab one of them. Workshops are great, workbenches are even better. I have a King's rollout camping one. It's going to do fine for this video. Does fine for most things. Right, now, first of all, I'm a finance broker. I'm blue collar at heart. This is my first ever office job. I do enjoy it. But this is not a work you. This is a play you, and it's fun. I'm still going to use the tailgate as my workbench for this. Now, my suggestion is when using a step drill bit, sometimes you can see it doesn't get all the way through, and if you're a bit worried about overdoing it, just come from the bottom again. It also helps with your burrs. Now, also too, if you look closely, you can see the mills on the video. So on the step drill bit, so then, all I've done is just tidy it up a bit, get rid of the burrs. Most of it's going to be hidden by your box anyway, so it's not going to matter. Now, when drilling onto your tailgate, just keep an eye on so you don't go through and hit your tailgate. And so, just to clean it up on the other side, we're going to flip it over and just give it a quick clamp. So I can just tidy up the back. We want it to be smooth, not rough. Oh, perfect. Guys, that is done and dusted. So now we're going to grab a step through it. Judge your gap. It should be right. We're going to find out. Right, now I went a little bit too far. You just kind of pulled the step drill through the back. So just be careful. It was only the ones in the tub that have kind of pulled it through. So for that one, I should have used started it and used a drill bit. But this is what happens when you do everything on camera and don't pre-do it first so you don't look like an idiot. Now, I've got a little bit of burrs and stuff just off the tub liner itself. So I'm just kind of running a knife over them. I don't think it really matters, but a Stanley knife or just a folding knife is something that you should have in your toolkit anyway, just because they're great for opening new tools. Alright, now let's open up my new rib nut gun. I was so excited for this. Grab a couple gummy bears. Now let's have a look. Right, so we've got these to go in the rib nut gun, and these are your rib nuts. For anyone who doesn't know, a rib nut is kind of like putting thread in the metal. It's kind of like putting a bolt into it. So we have some instructions. If you haven't used one before, I probably suggest always watching a video, just because, you know, you might pick up a new trick that you didn't realise when you buy a new tool. So we're going to grab an M8 one, 11mm hole with 7/16. We're going to try up, we're going to say 11mm. Well, I wish you'd tell me the colours though. Now, the fact that I'm also on the larger side of life means that running up and down those stairs, this hoodie is well and truly about to come off. Right now, I've never actually used one of these. I've got mates who have used them for me, and that's how I found out about them. So we're just going to quickly work out which size we need. Which, lucky enough for us, is already in it. So I'm going to pull it out and give you this show. So this top piece just unscrews. Then there's a piece in the end. That unscrews. And then you've got this piece, which are sitting this way in the box. Now the M8 ones are already on there and they are listed on these, which is fantastic. And I love the fact it shows you how to put it in without reading instructions. So, I'm going to put it in. A little bit of a notch there. And this has little hooks, so make sure the wider part stays on the outside, otherwise it won't go in properly. Then we screw this into the tip, just the tip. Now, sometimes, see, don't have to give it at all, sometimes just the tip is enough. Right, get on. Now, they don't actually tell you what size. Two ways to check. Grab a bolt. Does the thread fit? Is it the right size? Perfect. So let's grab 6 of these. Another great tool to have if you don't already have one in your kit is a magnetic tray. They are probably the most, I reckon, one of the most handy and underrated tools you can have in your group. Sorry, I accidentally looked at my phone trying to pick it up. So it'll be a 2-video thing. I will work out how to edit it. I'm probably gonna have to buy a tripod or something. Now, to insert these, put it on and screw it on. Then you can screw this up to get the end, I think. All the way to the end gives it a little bit just further. Right, I just showed you guys the hardest way to possibly do that, so I'll show you again in the second one. So you want it all the way, handles out nice and wide, get them spread. Let's see if I can set you guys up to see without setting me up to fail. So a new box is going to be a camera stand. And then we're going to use vise. Yep, there we go, you guys can see. Slide in. And squeeze. Then we're going to unthread. Just pull it back. I have a funny feeling that I could have put that in further. We're going to put in a bit more. Right. If there is a trick to this, if I'm doing it wrong, please, I welcome I welcome tips and advice. This is working with tools is alright. Doing it on camera is definitely new to me, and as I said, this is the first time I've used a roof nut gun, but I have always liked them. So, in. And push. Now, from the reviews I did on mine too, you can buy cheaper ones that look like a pop rivet gun. Everything I read said don't. Apparently you can't get the strength or the leverage on them to push them in, to give them enough pressure. I definitely prefer this idea though over tech screwing, especially in a new car. I used to have a GU Patrol that I paid $5 grand for. I had no dramas filling that with tech screws. I'm going to go see a mate when I finish this install, who put the roof nuts in my front bar for my light bar. So I'm sure if I've done something wrong, you're going to tell me about it real fast. Right, now remember I said this one, the hole kind of got to 12mm, not 11. So for peace of mind, I'm going to push it through. And I think I can feel metal behind there. But look, if these don't hold enough for the striker plate, I will drill them out and I will go up one size. If that happens, I will let you guys know. Also just worked out, you can just pop them in first and then just put the gun onto it and screw it up. So we're going to try that. Now, seeing as the striking plate is only to lock it to the side, I'm less worried about them being slightly big. If it was the back ones, we'd definitely be drilling them and going up a size. Because from what I can gather, that's where all the weight, like all the weight's going to sit on those hinges. And now look, if you're only putting rags in there, probably going to be alright, almost double-sided, putting double-sided tape on. If you're going to use the full, I think they say 38 kilos that they hold, off the top of my head I think. You know, you're going to want the mounts to be a little bit stronger. When in doubt, over-engineer it, make it stronger. Wiring, building, houses, work. Right. And for anyone out there who goes, oh, you know, you've got a bit of experience, rah. I've got a little bit more than your average Joe Blow. You know, I used to be in charge of a store, and I was in charge of all the vehicles and maintenance, and that boss taught me a lot. He's still one of my closest friends, and definitely one of the best mentors I've ever had. But I've got no trades. I've got no trades behind me. You know, I do a lot more drinking than I ever do exercise. I am nothing out of the ordinary. I'm a general Aussie as the rest of us. Now, I'm using Allen key ones. They're H5 Allen key. I've got black ones just because I think it's going to look a little bit neater, a little bit tidier, which is the aim of the game when we are doing these home mods. So, let's bolt this up loosely, and then we'll see, we'll go from there. When you're starting them, wait till you've got all your bolts in before you start doing them tight, or you're just going to waste more time and wonder why you didn't do it at the start because you're trying to rush it. That one's in, that one's caught. Let's grab another handful of bolts. Now the packet of M8 bolts I brought for this come in a packet of 6, which is nice. So, I always use lock nut bolts whenever I do anything. So I always have an abundance of extra normal nuts, but you should have a nut and bolt bucket, cupboard, whatever by now. Most of us do. Now, be careful when you're undoing your groove nut gun. It looks like you can damage some threads, which I have. This makes them a little bit tougher, less smooth. Go in. Or it could be the setting. I will double check that when I see my mate. Otherwise, if that's normal and some of them can be a little bit rough, let me know in the comments. We've got it in. Now, that is a smaller head than what I was using on my drill. So we need an adapter or a different ratchet. Right, just in case none of you know what we're looking at, an adapter looks like that. Goes from the big one to the medium one. Then there's another one in the drawer that goes from the medium one to the little one. Right, now we're just going to take these up with the drill, nice and gently. Now my drill is really not loving me today. All these threads aren't loving me, one or two. 2 of them out of 6 have gone in smooth as silk, whereas the rest have not. I think I might have had a couple of them in slightly crooked. So that seems to be doing a lot to actually help them go in. Is pulling them out and just double checking they're on straight. We probably shouldn't cross thread them, especially on my first video. That's it. Now just to push past and just to double check for a bit of peace of mind, guys. I'm always going to touch them up with a ratchet. I wouldn't normally use a torque wrench, but as I said before, that was the closest one to the shed door we did. Now, from what I can see, if you try to put them in an angle, or if the rib nut's gone in at a bit of an angle, it is going to spin the rib nut. Before it tightens it. So make sure you put them on tight. Make sure you put them straight. So generally, maybe do them up with your hands first. You know, I worked out why the drill wasn't going so well. The charge I had left in it was all it had. Once you've got all them in neat nicely and tightened up, if you want to do it quicker and you don't care about putting black bolts in, and you're never going to take it out, just use the tech screws. I probably would be done and finished by now if I tech screwed it. Now, so when it came, this bracket wasn't on the box. We've got the installation guides. This is a 2025-2026 build GWM Cannon. Installation guide says Nissan NP300. So I started looking at this after a long day. Don't take as long as I did. This tells you which way and which holes to use. There is no Canon written here. Find NP300. So you use the holes furthest away from the plate, furthest away from the hinge holes, whatever you, however you want to do it. So when you mount it, use that, make sure it's on the right side. And from the looks of it, looks like I have done it wrong. Which is fine. I would rather notice and be honest about it and notice it before I put it on the unit than put it on in front of everyone and go, now I'm noticing. So always check these steps. Now the other things I want to notice too is you can see I have the nut on the outside and the bolt, the screw head, Phillips head on the inside. One, they're a big head, use a big tip screwdriver. Two, originally when I got the box, those screws were already in it, they just weren't mounted to the plate. They were also the other way around, so the screw was on the outside and the nut was on the inside. I have swapped them for a reason. That comes with the fact of the battery box I'm building. I needed just that little bit of extra room. So because otherwise the nut was hitting the battery I was installing, and it is very, very tight on room. So if you do yours different, if you leave yours the other way and you're wondering why mine's different, that is not a box thing, that is the battery box thing. Alright, so I'm just re-looking at the instructions, double checking. So make sure the bracket is the right way. And we're gonna look on the, we're gonna use the ones furthest away from the plate. I'm just gonna pop my screw through, put it in the hole. I'd like to think most of us have that down pat. Right. Now from the looks of it, that should be alright. So we'll quickly touch these back up. Right, they are lock nuts, guys, and it does seem, the box overall does seem really sturdy. It is plastic. You don't have to put the bolt through them when you're tightening them, and they are lock nuts. Now, also, I just want to mention, it had a plate across here for a bit of, I'm assuming to help it be stable, and it has a tray that sits here. I would leave them on. I've cut it, but with the inverter I'm mounting and the charger, DC to DC charger and stuff, I have put other bolts in to, and they will be going in to brace it. But again, I will put more on that up when I do that video. If I do that video, I may watch this one and decide I'm never making another video. Cool. Let's close the box. Turn your latch so your lid don't move. And we're going to set you guys up to watch. There. Right, all I'm going to do, line up, top, bottom, throw her on. Right, she slipped on. Now, let's have a look. So, looks to be sitting on there all right. And with this ute, it could be because of the angle my car's on. I might not have put it on 100% straight, but it's looking pretty straight on there. It's looking pretty good. Let's climb off. I have a big drop here, which makes this side of it a little bit harder for my average height short ass. Pull. There you go. Oh, see, I slammed it then. Guys, she's on. I'm gonna try and put a link to, I'm gonna upload this video once I edit it to YouTube. And guys, give me a follow. And if you're ever in the Central West, Lithgow, Bathurst, Orange, or any of those places, you want to catch up for a beer, a rum, go for a full drive, give me some ideas, or go for a ride if any of you ride. I've just Street Fighter conversion my ZX12R overpassed since December, and always down to get out on two wheels. Well, guys, don't laugh at me too much, thank you. So I went and saw my mate today after I finished Tub Box. I got it slightly wrong, so I just figured I'd add this to give you all a bit of a tip for anyone else who's never used a roof nut gun before. When you put the roof nut on, open the handles all the way, screw it on tight onto the roof nut, and then back it off so you can just see the first thread. When you put it in and clamp it, just do it firm. Don't do it as tight as you saw me do it in the video, because that's actually what pulls the thread. So that was where I went a little bit wrong and why it was a little bit hard to get those bolts into the lock nut, into the roof nuts. So just to touch base and let you know how I went after I spoke to my mate about that, and we just drilled out a couple and re-put them in, did them in a bit firm. Not a drama, wasn't hard. But yeah, just a little tip that I was never taught or told that I figured might save someone else the headache or the hassle. I look forward to seeing some tub boxes installed, and if anyone does anything out of the box with it, show some photos. Let's see some cool ideas.